Hi, my name is Caesar and welcome to Tips for Landlords and Property Managers brought to you by fastevic.com Law Group. Hi, welcome to another Tips for Landlords and Property Managers video brought to you by fastevic.com. Today, we'll discuss some tips to improve tenant-landlord communication. Remember, the contents of this video is not intended to be legal advice. Please contact us for a free consultation. Are you having issues communicating with your tenant? Keeping a healthy relationship with your tenant is vital for your business and a nice way to protect your valuable assets. A landlord should not only see tenants for rent money. That's a bad start to having good communication skills. The first thing you should do is establish how your tenant would like to communicate with you. What channels would they rather use? Good old-fashioned phone calls and snail mail? Text messages, email, WhatsApp, Facebook groups and Messenger, Signal. There are many ways you can communicate with your tenant. These should cover all the major and reasonable methods of communication. If your tenant, for some reason, only wants to communicate through TikTok comments on their videos, you may need to ask them to be a bit more reasonable. You should also express how often you plan to communicate with your tenant. How often are you planning on doing inspections? Are you planning on sending rent reminders? You should establish required communications versus optional. Some examples of required communications include scheduling of inspections and/or repair schedules, past due rent reminders, emergency situations such as floods and fires, interruption of services. Some examples of optional communications may be rent due reminder, community events, non-essential communications of local interest. Next, you should establish how maintenance requests will be handled. What is your preferred way of receiving requests versus how they would want to handle them? Once established, make sure you take care of all requests in a timely manner to improve communication with your tenant. Are you willing to be flexible on using online rent payment services? Most younger tenants prefer to pay rent online versus sending or handing you a check. It's way more convenient and secure. Plus, most of these services allow recurring charges, so never miss a rent payment again. Always remember, being nice is free. Feel free to go the extra mile. This will boost your tenant-landlord relationship. Some examples include dropping a birthday card in your tenant's mailbox. Send a fruit basket to tenants who pay their rent on time for 6 months straight. Consider rent rebates when services or amenities are out of service. What happens if your tenant refuses to communicate? It's a lot easier to prevent landlord-tenant disputes from the very beginning. If you find yourself in a bad situation, however, you can try finding a mediator who is willing to help, someone who would have an unbiased opinion. Have you tried writing a letter explaining to your tenant how important it is for both of you to communicate? Remind your tenant that landlords need to know about maintenance issues per your lease. You can have a healthy business relationship. You don't need to be best buds, but should be able to respect each other. The only thing you're asking them to do is honor the rental agreement, nothing more. Tenants who don't communicate can be very costly. You can run into habitability legal issues, or worse, you can lose your valuable property to extreme damage. Have you dealt with non-communicative tenants? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share if you found these tips useful. We'll see you on the next one.